And welcome back to Bob and Jay in Shorts, where we offer up some helpful advice for the hunters and the hunting community. And today we're going to talk about outhouses and outhouse etiquette.
Because outhouse etiquette, very important.
As sooner or later, if you're a hunter, you're going to visit an outhouse.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
so, go ahead.
Well, Bob, some people don't even know what an outhouse is. What do you tell them about an outhouse?
Well, so basically an outhouse is usually out back somewhere. It's made of wood. It's a framed-in instrument. Not very big, but it's got a platform on the inside, a door you can step in and close the door and that sort of thing.
And often that door has sort of a crescent moon carved into it.
Well, that's just so that a little bit of light comes in when you close that door.
Yeah, and be advised that's got nothing to do with Islam, just so you know.
No, it doesn't.
No,
right.
okay. So it has a door that closes. That's good for privacy.
That's it.
It's important. Now, tell us about the construction of an outhouse, a typical outhouse.
Well, it's obviously made of wood, and it sits over a big old hole usually. And inside,
now, hang on, that's not a porta potty.
No,
that's not one of those plastic things.
No, this sits and it stays right there. It just stays right there.
Well, who would? Okay, so talk about the.
Well, and the inside there's usually a platform, and there's a hole in there, and what you do is you go in there and you do your business. And sometimes
you sit down over the hole.
Sit down over the hole. Sometimes there's actually a two-holer.
A two-holer.
Yeah, you can get in there and see a one-holer or a two-holer. Yep.
Well, now people probably haven't seen outhouses. Where are they generally found now?
Well, you usually find them up in bear hunting camps, fishing camps, up in the northern parts of the North American continent.
The primitive areas.
Yeah, primitive areas, things like that.
Like all through Mississippi.
And Mississippi, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And it's important to note, depending on if you got a two-holer, how you manage that. So if you're with your spouse or, whatever, I mean, it's perfectly legitimate in terms of outhouse etiquette to both use the same outhouse at the same time. You got a two-holer.
That's why they got two holes.
That's perfectly acceptable.
A level of intimacy that is acceptable with spouses.
Absolutely. Now, however, if you got a two-holer there and you're with your hunting buddy, it's really just a good idea. Just take turns.
Doesn't matter, one hole or two holes.
Now, well, especially if it's a two-holer, even if it is a one-holer, you just need to make sure you take turns.
Because there's some things about your hunting buddy that you just as well not know.
Yeah, you just don't want to.
All right, very well. Now, another important aspect of using the outhouse, apparently we got to go in order, you got to go, first or second. So is it better to go first or second, Bob?
Well, that's a good question, right? And it kind of depends on the time of year. So for instance, Jay, if you're in the dead of winter, serious cold, oh mercy, I'm telling you what you do is you do whatever is necessary to make sure that you're not the first one to the outhouse. If you understand the meaning.
Yes, right, because somebody needs to warm it up a bit.
Yes, sir.
Warm
yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So that's always a good choice. Now, if you're in the dead of summer, you got to be careful too, because sometimes the first person in ends up having to take care of all the spider webs and the creepy crawlies and stuff. That's the disadvantage of being in there first in the summer.
Well, you know what? Truth be told, Bob, I kind of think I like to be, when you and I are hunting together, I think I'd like to be first any time of year.
Well, there is that opposite end of that question, right? There are certain noxious fumes that occur when somebody's doing that business. And
the ventilation in those things is inadequate.
Yeah. I guess you can.
I mean, you can even leave the door open, and it's going to burn your eyes after Bob. I'm just saying.
Well, no, it doesn't have nothing to do with me. It has to do with the residue that's been left by previous visitors.
Previous visitors.
Yes,
it just seems that every time you're in there. No, that's just a coincidence.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right, very well.
So, and there's other etiquette, right? I mean, if you got a one-holer there, you're not there with your spouse, and you're going up there, and you hear your hunting buddy or your fishing buddies in there and just laughing out loud. It's just not proper etiquette to go pounding on the door and beating on the door.
You need to leave him alone because he's doing something important.
Well, he's probably reading one of the stories from A Proper Care and Feeding of a Hunting Buddy.
He's reading our book in there, and it's best to leave him alone.
You don't want to do that. Now, on the other side, if the guy's been in there laughing for 15, 20 minutes, it's okay to knock on the door and say, hey, you can't read the whole book in one setting, you know, and you can be doing your dance outside.
Yeah, because he's dancing outside, and,
Yeah.
and if you hear somebody saying, ooh, 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 well, that probably means...
Yeah, that means it's time to get out.
Time
right?
to get out.
So,
One more thing. Do not allow our book to stay inside of a one-holer, a two-holer, any holer at all, unless there's a good adequate supply of toilet paper.
And that's all the time we have for this episode of Bob and Jay in Shorts. Please make sure you visit us and subscribe to our video channel. Visit our website, bobandjay.com, and for sure buy our book, The Proper Care and Feeding of a Hunting Buddy. And remember, good hunting.
And good hunting buddies.